What's going on, guys? This is Dave from PNP, and I'm here to talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. I just want to remind you that's the easiest place to play. There ain't too many places where you can win 20 times your money in the same night, utilizing higher lowers in the Pick'em game. And now they have Pick'em Insurance, where while you won't win the same amount of money that you did before, you can miss one and still bring home some money. So if you do it 3 times, you could potentially still get your money back if you end up missing one. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up today and use the code PNP when you do. And the $100 deposit match still stands. Underdog Fantasy. First things first, how about the mic is on? What's going on, guys? This is Dave, one half of PNP. I hope all is well with you and your family. And this is Dave's Fantasy Hour, where we talk about fantasy football and the happenings that's been going on this week in fantasy football. The mic should be working now. Let me know if the mic is not working, ladies and gentlemen. The mic should be fine. So let's and I don't know why my reception's odd. It should be working fine today, but we're gonna see how it goes. I'm plugged in, so this is real odd, and I just tested out the internet. So we just had some interesting news that just dropped down the pike. So before I get into week 1 preseason, even though I'll be honest, from week 1 standpoint, there really wasn't too much to get out of that. But we just had 2 running backs that signed to teams. Ezekiel Elliott signed to the Patriots. Dalvin Cook signed with the Jets. Now, I'll give you my perspective on both. We'll start with Zeke to the Patriots. I could see them utilizing him a little bit, utilizing him here in New England. But at the same time, Bill Belichick historically has used multiple running backs. So it'll be interesting to see how that impacts from Stevenson there. I'm worried about his goal line carries and things of that sort. I don't know. I'm still trying to get a vibe of like, where would I draft Zeke here? I'm not completely there yet. I'm still trying to think that through, because that one, the Patriots, was not on my bingo card of them picking up somebody. But you know, I know they like to have a rotating set of running backs and things of that sort. I think the big thing that people want to discuss is Dalvin Cook to the Jets. Now, the thing about Dalvin Cook to the Jets is they already got a running back. They got Breece Hall. You know, and a lot of folks have been drafting Breece Hall pretty high. So the question becomes, all right, so now what? If you drafted Breece Hall high, because some folks have already had their drafts, what do I do now? It might be a split type of situation now. Dalvin might be more of the goal line guy now. Breece might be the home run hitter. That just might be what it's going to be. Because we know that Dalvin can definitely do the goal line stuff. So this could be a situation where Zeke and Dalvin is going to impact those main backs, because now you got somebody that can do goal line. Both of those guys can do goal line. And Stevenson's been going pretty high too in drafts for the Patriots as well. So when you take those things into account, I don't think it helps neither one of them. I think I'll probably still draft them where they're going right now, but you just got to remember, now you got vultures now. Dalvin's more concerning than Zeke, I'll be honest with you. We're going to talk about DJ Moore. Appreciate the super chat. Noe. Yeah, if you're in the Patreon, if you know, in regards to DJ Moore. So let's, but the bottom line is they're going to impact the top running backs that were there prior. I think right now they're probably more than vultures. They're probably vultures right now. I think Dalvin's more dangerous. I think Dalvin can still be a 3-down guy. He could mess around and really impact Breece Hall. But right now I'm putting them in vulture status. I don't think I'm drafting Dalvin over Breece Hall right now. I can tell you that right now. I can say that with addiction, that I don't think I'm going to do that. But Zeke, I'm not. I think Zeke is still vulture. Now, if you want to talk about, I think Zeke might be cooked. I think Zeke might be done. But it's the Patriots, man. They tend to rotate running backs. There'll be one week Zeke is gonna look like Zeke is in his 20s. Is gonna in his early 20s. We're gonna have that week with Zeke in New England, because that's what they do there. That's just what it is when it comes to the Patriots. I haven't heard otherwise. I haven't heard otherwise. Look, I'm going to talk about my dynasty league that I'm in, but I haven't heard otherwise. I can tell you where he went in this dynasty league that I'm in. But yeah. All right. So that's that when it comes to the news. So let's get into what happened in the preseason. Week 1 preseason is tough to get a gauge on what happens. A lot of starters sit. A lot of players don't play. Sometimes you just look at performances from certain people that come out of nowhere. And typically, the only position where this might matter a bit, well, there's 2 positions. Running back and wide receiver. And to be honest, it's like one guy where it's something I'm keeping my eye on, but it's nothing that tells me, oh, you need to draft this kid. I didn't see anybody that popped out like, oh, no, you really got to draft this kid. Oh, no, you got to draft this kid higher. I didn't see any of that. I know my man Noli was talking about DJ Moore, and we'll get into DJ Moore, but I didn't see like, oh, no, you got to put this guy on your board for redraft leagues. I didn't see any of that. But I will give a shout out to Emmanuel Wilson from the Green Bay Packers. My man has 6 carries, over 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Fort Valley State University. I think the Packers were trying to stash that man, and I don't think they're going to be able to anymore. But the problem that he also have is that it's going to be hard for him to make that roster in Green Bay. So they're not going to be able to let him go, and he ends up back on the practice squad because I think somebody's going to scoop him up. So that's an intriguing situation with regards to the running back situation. James Cook, we kind of knew about James Cook. James Cook is James Cook because he's the only guy left in Buffalo right now. Like, James Cook is James Cook. I mean, with Devin Singletary going to Houston, I mean, James Cook has been going pretty high in drafts, believe it or not. Some drafts higher than Miles Sanders, But I think this kid, keep an eye on that situation. Not a draft type of situation. This is a kid that, like, maybe if he gets the opportunity, if he gets on a roster, because I don't see him making the Green Bay roster, so he's probably going to get picked up from somebody else. Depending on where he gets picked up, he might pop somewhere else. I mean, the dude broke for 80 yards in that Packers game, so that was interesting. I would agree here about James Cook. All right. So, but like I said, not too much out of week 1. The quarterbacks, there's some quarterback situations that are interesting. Malik Willis looked pretty good. Justin Fields looked really good, even though I will say something about Justin Fields. He had negative air yards, but he did look good. I just want to say that. I don't envision, like, quarterbacks are going to be quarterbacks when it comes to this. I'm just interested to see what happens with Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis might end up winning the backup job, but you never know. I mean, there's been crazier things that's happened. The Bucs situation is a mess. Houston, if you want to talk about the rookie quarterbacks, Levis looked okay. Stroud didn't look too hot. Bryce Young did what he could. Richardson was Richardson. I mean, we can segue that into the rookies real quick, to the 3 rookies. When you talk about these 3 guys right here from a fantasy perspective, the guy that you want is Richardson. He's going to get the most opportunity out of the 3. And it's not saying Young's not going to get the opportunity, but I think the offense that Young is going to be in is going to tamper his fantasy status. You follow me? So it's not like Young's not going to be a successful quarterback in this rookie season. It's more about the fact that the offense that the Panthers are going to run that's going to put him at a disadvantage over Richardson. And if you want me to give you an order, I would say Richardson, Young, Stroud, in that order, in my opinion. Even though Stroud probably has the most opportunity, but so far I haven't seen enough. Right? And it's only 1 week, so it's early. You know what I'm saying? But Stroud's going to get the most opportunity because he's on a team where the team's going to be behind a lot. He's going to have to throw the ball. He's going to get the most opportunity to get yards. Young's going to be on a run-first offense. Richardson's going to get an opportunity to throw. So it's just going to be interesting to see how this goes with these guys. But for me, when you talk about an order from a draft standpoint, it's Richardson, Young, then Stroud in that order. Richardson is startable. He's a top 12 fantasy quarterback. He's startable. Young, backup. Stroud, lower end backup. 2 QB league, you can start Young. Stroud's on the cusp. On the cusp to start as a second quarterback. So that's just my opinion on the rookie on the big three. Levis, this is probably going to be a mulligan year for Levis, because Levis might not even win the backup job. So you don't know what's going to happen with Levis, because Malik Willis is saying, "Nah, I'm going to be the backup for this one." So we don't know what's going to happen with Levis. So you're going to have to hold off on Levis. So I mean, Levis probably ain't really draftable this year in a redraft league. In a dynasty league, he is. Funny enough, I drafted him in a dynasty league. I literally just drafted him less than an hour ago. So, but in a dynasty league, he's draftable for Will Levis. But in a redraft, nah, ain't worth your time. It's funny. I just drafted Jimmy Garoppolo too in the dynasty league. I drafted 2 quarterbacks back to back in the 11th and 12th rounds. I'm gonna get into my dynasty league real quick too, that I'm in, because I think it's an interesting discussion, and it's an interesting war of attrition when it comes to the quarterback position in super flex leagues. But that's my opinion on those rookies. But it's the first week. You're only as good as the opportunity that you have. I think we saw that with Bryce Young as Panther fans, right? You're only as good as the opportunity that you have. Bryce Young didn't get too much time because of that offensive line. Did not play well. Can we talk about early QB be waiting as well? I need you to rephrase that, Noli. Or you want to talk about waiting at QB when you draft? Let me tell you something, man. Whew. I think there's some quarterbacks you can't afford to wait. But then again, I gotta do more. I gotta see how more drafts are going. Speaking of garbage time stats, oh yeah, absolutely. But Dak, yo man, I don't know who's in the chat that's in the Patreon, but I do not want the Patreons to answer this question, because I'm gonna transition into the Dynasty League that I'm in. All right, so we're gonna talk about this Dynasty League, and this is gonna be a pretty dope discussion, and then we'll go from there. All right, and then during this segment, I'm also gonna talk about some of the PNP leagues that we're going to do, and I'll talk about the Eliminator Challenge as well that we're gonna do. All right, I don't want folks in the Patreon to answer this question, because some of you guys already know this, because if you're in the Patreon, if you're already a Patreon, you already know some of the answers to these questions, because we've been talking about this Dynasty League since I started it last week. So I'm in a slow draft. Basically a slow draft. Everybody gets 8 hours a pick. And it started last week, and I've been in this draft pretty much for a week. We're in the 12th round right now. It's a 23 round draft. It's a 2 quarterback. It's a super flex league, so you can start 2 quarterbacks. You have to start a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and then I think you have 2 flexes, and then you have a super flex. And then everybody else bench warmers, and then you also have this thing called the taxi squad. When you put a player in you have 3 IR spots, and then you have 3 taxi squad spots. When you put a player in the taxi squad, that means you cannot use him for the remainder of the season. It's like the opposite of IR. So when you put him there, he can't come out, period. Okay? But it's a dynasty league, so the players that you have are the players that you have. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions. So right now we're sitting in the 12th round. All right. How many quarterbacks do you now? Once again, and by the way, it's standard scoring PPR. Okay, no defenses, no kickers. How many quarterbacks do you got? Now, I don't want the Patrons to answer. And speaking of Patreon, become one. I got to put my ticker. Become a Patreon. We really got some pretty cool stuff going on in Patreon. And I'm going to be doing way more fantasy stuff as we go. So become a Patreon. I plan on doing a show with the Patrons after every episode of this to get into details of certain things and strategies and sort. So the question I want to ask you guys is, how many quarterbacks do you think went in the first round of this Dynasty League draft? How many quarterbacks you think went? Now, it is a super flex, so that means you can draft. That means you can start 2 quarterbacks. So how many quarterbacks do you guys think went in the first round of this draft? All right, we got 6. So 3, 6. So how many quarterbacks you guys think? I want some more numbers. Give me some more numbers. I got 6, 3. 12-team league, by the way. So if y'all want to change y'all numbers based off that, that's fine. It was a 12-team league, by the way. 12-team league. All right, 5, 1 to 2. Any more answers before I give y'all the answer? 2. All right, this is 12-team league. 4. Patrons, y'all can answer. I'll see if y'all remember. By the way, nobody's gotten it correct, by the way. Well, there's only 12 teams, so it ain't 16. How many quarterbacks was taken in the first round of this Dynasty draft that I'm in? And by the way, I'm in this Dynasty draft with some draft experts, like folks who've been covering fantasy football for decades. Really good people. From Draft Sharks, Owlats, things of that sort. It's not 16. That's your answer. 9. There were 9 quarterbacks taken in the first round. 9. And I had the 11th pick. So, let's put it to you this way. 9 quarterbacks were taken before it got to me. I ended up taking Bijan Robinson with the 11th pick, which ended up being the first running back taken in the Dynasty draft. Justin Jefferson was the only other position that was taken outside of quarterback before me. So I decided to take Bijan Robinson. Yeah. I kind of, at that point, you know, when I expected like 6 or 7 to be taken. So I felt like, all right, maybe Justin Fields might fall to me. And I'll take Fields at 11. But then I said, but if it still becomes a quarterback bonanza, I might get the pick between Justin Jefferson and Bijan Robinson. You can't be mad at that. And then Justin Jefferson went. And then I said, and then Field, it was Jefferson, Fields, my pick. So then I said, all right, that's the case. I'll take Bijan. And since I had the 11th pick, I had somebody come after me back to back, and then I had another pick after that. Well, it's a super flex. So you can start 2 quarterbacks, right? But I didn't anticipate that many quarterbacks going so quickly. So my board changes. I mean, I agree. I don't doubt that, but let's look at the quarter. All right, so we got Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow, Herbert, Jackson, Lawrence, Richardson. Those were the first 8 picks. Then my man took Justin Jefferson. Then Fields went. I took Bijan. Then back-to-back picks was Chase and Hall. It went back around. I took McCaffrey because I felt like, all right, I might as well go ahead and just since I didn't want, like, the next option after that was either Watson or Murray, and I wasn't interested. And I felt like maybe I'll see what the situation looked when I go back around. So then, you know. And then after that, it was Kelsey, then Watson. Bunch of wide receivers happened. Like, I think we found, like, it got to the point in the draft where I think we were like 7 or 8 rounds in, and there were more quarterbacks taken than running backs. I knew that the quarterback position is important in a double flex league, super flex league. And I was fine with that. I had no issue being a little bit, I had no issue being patient because I can always punt the next season to try to get a quarterback. I had no issue doing that because I always have a philosophy about quarterbacks. I always feel like I can always get one anytime I need to get one. I don't need to have Patrick Mahomes to win a fantasy football championship. I don't need to have Josh Allen to win a fantasy football championship. You know what I'm saying? I don't need those guys to win one. And with the 11th pick, I wasn't going to get those guys. I knew those guys were going to be gone before the 11th pick. I would have been stunned if that wasn't the case. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. There's no question that it's big. But when you get the 11th pick, you're not going to get those guys. So then you ask yourself the question, all right, I'm not going to get those guys. I got to find my advantage elsewhere. So that's what I try to do. And that's fine. But if the top three quarterbacks, were the top three quarterbacks the first three quarterbacks taken in drafts? Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll tell you that they're not. They typically aren't. Because it's a hard thing to guess. A lot of the times, the top quarterback doesn't end up being the top quarterback at the end of the day. And it's not to say that Patrick Mahomes is not going to have a great year. Let me be clear. It's not going to say that Josh Allen's not going to have a great year. And it's not about, and in Dynasty, it's not about just this year. It's about subsequent years. Hurts went in the 5th round last year. That means he wasn't the first quarterback taken. That means he probably wasn't the second or the third either. So, and he was the top guy. He was the top guy. I know I had him. So you never know. Those weren't the top 3 quarterbacks taken last year. Hurts was not. Geno came out of nowhere. Geno was top 7, I believe. So that's my point. You got to go get guys like Geno. But, when 9 quarterbacks go in the first round, I couldn't convince myself to take Deshaun Watson at 11. I couldn't do it. And I couldn't convince myself to do it at 15 either. Yeah. Geno was undrafted in most leagues. He went 5th. He was 5th. So it all depends. You gotta decide how you want to attack it. Sometimes you don't have a choice on how you attack. When you get the 11th pick, you got to roll with what you got. But I will say, I think I didn't take a quarterback until I ended up taking a quarterback in the 6th round. I made the decision that I wasn't gonna reach, and the value was too good. I took Bijan, and that's a long-term pick, obviously. I took McCaffrey, then I took Diggs, Higgins, Najee Harris. The value was too good. I had Geno Smith as a target, but I had Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith as a target in the 5th, and they went back-to-back before my pick. So then I said, all right, I'll just take Najee. And then my thought was I'll take either Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love on the turn. That was my thought. But the guy, after I took Najee, took Love and Rodgers back to back. So at that point, I made the decision to get out the pick. So because I didn't want to take a quarterback that quick. I didn't want to take a quarterback there. The ones that I had on my list at that point wasn't good enough value for me to take, and to stay in the pick that I was in, he wouldn't have been there. And there was another running back that I was targeting that I wanted to be able to get. So in the 6th round, I had the second pick in the 6th round. I made a trade to go back. I traded my second pick in the 6th round because somebody wanted to come up. I traded that pick to the guy that had the guy that had the 9th pick in the 6th, and I got the 4th pick in the 7th. So I took those 2 picks and I gave him my 11th in the 7th. So we kind of just did a quick swap. I could have probably asked for the 2nd pick in the 8th round, but I was like, nah, we'll just do the swaps. Because I just wanted to get the turn so I could get my quarterback and then get my sleeper running back, which is Miles Sanders. I got Miles Sanders in the 7th round. So I couldn't complain about that. And I ended up taking Russell Wilson in the 6th round. So I was happy about that. So he could be my starter. And so then at that point, I'm thinking, all right, I get my next pick is in the 8th round, and I'll check my options. I'll either take another running back or I'll take or I'll finally get a tight end. And George Kittle was sitting there in the 8th round. And so I took Kittle. I was hesitant on Kittle because I already had McCaffrey. But, I mean, for me, there's only like 2 or 3 other tight ends ahead of him. So I said, all right, I'll take Kittle. So at least I'll have an advantage at that position. Now, going to the 8th round, I'm going to name the quarterbacks that were available at this point so you can kind of understand my perspective. Here are the top quarterbacks that were available in the 8th round. Mac Jones, Sam Howell, Trey Lance, Stafford, Ritter, Will Levis, Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield. Those were the quarterbacks available at this point. So going into the 8th round, the top quarterback available was Mac Jones. All right? So I just want to give you guys some perspective. The top quarterback available was Mac Jones. So my choice was either Mac Jones or George Kittle. What would you take? I'm taking Kittle. And it's funny, like I think after I took Kittle, I think it was after Kittle. No, it was after it went back around again in the 9th round. In the 9th round, I took DeAndre Hopkins. And then I went around the turn, I took Pacheco from Kansas City. And after that point, they asked me the question. I think that was when they asked me the question. It was after the 8th or the 9th round, they asked the question, are you going to take another quarterback? And I said, I got one. Because I was looking into potentially taking Sam Howell in the 9th, but he went. And I said, all right, well, I'll take Hopkins then. At that point, that was the point where I made the decision that my Superflex is not going to be a quarterback. It still can be because I ended up taking Jimmy Garoppolo in the 12th round. I ended up taking Will Levis in the 11th, Jimmy Garoppolo in the 12th, and that's where we're at now. We're in the 12th round, middle of the 12th round. I probably won't make another pick until tomorrow if I'm lucky. Probably not until Wednesday. It's a 23-round draft, so I got plenty of picks to go. I might take 1 or 2 more quarterbacks that I'm looking at. So yeah, listen. I think 6 rounds in, there were more quarterbacks taken than running backs. There was a lot of run on wide receivers. I don't have too many wide receivers. I think I only have 3 wide receivers, if I remember correctly. 1, 2. Yeah, I only got 3 wide receivers on my roster right now. Wide receivers went crazy too. Yeah, I only got Diggs, Higgins, and Hopkins. I got a lot of running backs though. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got as many quarterbacks as wide receivers, which is kind of wild to think, but yeah. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 running backs. 3 wide receivers. I got a couple wide receivers on my radar for when my next picks are up, but we'll see. Mingo already went. I feel like I can probably still do some damage in this league. Picking up Jimmy Garoppolo is going to help. I still think I probably got better options playing somebody other than Jimmy G in my super flex spot, but we'll see. But I had to get a quarterback that I knew that was going to be able to play just for the bye week at least. Because remember, this is a dynasty league. Your waiver wires aren't going to be that strong. It's a 23-round draft. Dotson already went. What round did Dotson went? Dotson went in the 7th round. Dotson's gone. Yeah, Dotson's gone. Dotson's long gone. I can give you some perspectives on some picks, man. Like, when you talk about running back runs, like I would call a run on a position 4 players or more. Well, no, I'll say 5 players or more. Shit, even 4 players or more is kind of tough to see it. Yeah, even at 4 players or more, we didn't have a running back run until round Let's see. Round 9. We didn't have a running back run until round 9. That's 4 players or more of the same position taken in a row. Not until round 9. And it's the only one we've had. Crazy enough. As I look. So we've had 1, 2. We've had 2 quarterback runs. Like the first 8 picks for quarterbacks. So, but we've had a couple quarterback runs. We've had a couple wide receiver runs too. Funny enough, I haven't been part of any of the runs, by the way. I've never been a runner, so to speak. No tight end runs though. Not a tight end run to be found. But from a positional standpoint, those are the breaks. Give me McLaurin here. All right. So far, I've only grabbed one Panther, and that's Miles Sanders. I wanted Jonathan Mingo. He was on my board going around, but he got taken So no Jonathan Mingo for me. There's a couple of the Panthers that are left that I'm interested in. Crazy enough, Chark is still on the board, and so is Thielen. But we'll see. I'm kind of shocked they're still there. But if they're making Bryce Young, Steph Curry, I kind of understand why. There's no defense in this Dynasty League. Let's see here. I think we've made it to the Q&A portion of this draft and while we do that, I'll talk about the leagues that I'm going to set up. So what's going to happen is this. We've been doing a yearly P&P league, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean that up. I'm going to clean that up, and I'm going to invite patrons first. I'm going to see if they want to do a buy-in, just to have folks in there that are serious, because last year there were folks in there that weren't that serious. And then what I'll do next, I would like to do a keeper league, and I would like to do a dynasty league. The dynasty league is going to require a multi-year. Both of those leagues require multi-year commitments. And I could do a free one, but I have a feeling that a free one isn't going to motivate people to stay in it. But I won't make the price too high so folks won't play. But I'm going to open it up to the patrons first, and then I'll fill it up with the extra. So, how many teams? I was thinking 12. And I was thinking no super flex. I was thinking just a 1 quarterback league. Yep. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm wondering if even it's worth doing a keeper. I think I might not even do a keeper. I'll just do the P&P league, then I'll just do a dynasty league and be done with it. Now, as for the Eliminator Challenge, I haven't set that up yet. I plan on setting it up. By next week, it will be done. And I will give you, and you will have all the information for the Eliminator Challenge. I'm gonna do a pick'em where you pick games every week, and I'm gonna do an Eliminator Challenge where basically you have to pick a team, and if that team wins, you move the next week. If that team loses, you're out. There will be a prize for both. I'm debating that. I'm debating if I want to have 2 wide receivers and let you guys have more flexibility to pick your flexes. I was thinking 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flexes. Tight end, no defenses, no kickers. I don't like defenses and kickers. I think they're just a guessing game. I don't like them. So, no defenses, no kickers. Pretty big bench. Ability to trade your picks, things of that sort. I'll probably put in a vote to see if you guys want to do a super flex league or not. But I mean, it's fine if you don't. I don't care. Um, I don't want to do defensive players. Well, I can't do nothing about that. Folks got to be there for it. I mean, I'm definitely going to put a buy-in for it just to try to keep people honest. But folks got to be there. Folks got to be there for that. All right, so we're about 38 minutes into the fantasy hour. This is the portion where I will take your questions. Um, I will answer any type of fantasy questions that you have. I will talk about any type of anything NFL related. Um, I don't want to talk. I'm gonna be honest. This is fantasy based. So when I talk about the Panthers, I only want to. It's got to be fantasy focused. So just keep that in mind. I know everybody wants to talk about what happened with the game yesterday, but that's what the show is tomorrow with Rashad. So if it's fantasy focused, I'll talk. But this is a fantasy based show, so I want you guys to keep that in mind when you come with your questions. I always gave Patreon priority before I did. Yeah, the league's filled up. It didn't fill up with just Patreon people, no. But it could. Become a Patreon. The information's down here. I plan on offering up right after this show. I'm gonna do a weekly Zoom too to go into the details of certain things. Right after the show every Monday. I'll do a Zoom for every hour. So yes, no, they haven't set the Zoom up yet, but I will set the Zoom up and I will post it in the Patreon. It only takes me a minute or two to set the Zoom up. I just didn't have a chance to. I got a phone call literally right before I had to go live that I had to take care of. Oh yeah, I'm like for the Dynasty League. I'm definitely gonna have to do a pay. I'm definitely gonna have a buy-in. I completely disagree. There's a few folks worth starting. Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is a starter. Dare I say? Miles Sanders got a shot to have RB1 numbers. He could be a top 12 running back in fantasy. I don't know why folks are so down on him this year. Like even in my dynasty, I got him in the 7th. But then there were some folks that sent me a message like, "That's a phenomenal pick," and I said, and I replied to the individual saying, "I would have taken him before I traded out of the pick." That's how high I was on him. So I'm pretty high on my Sanders, and I'm high on him long term from a dynasty perspective too. I mean, because he's pretty young. Like I don't think folks realize he's got another 3-4 more years. So it'll be interesting. I just feel like, from the Panthers standpoint, the defense is going to give you weeks of you being able to utilize him if your league plays defenses, because you get to play the Bucks twice, because you get to play the Falcons twice, because you get to play the Saints twice. So those things are a factor when you take that into consideration. And on top of that, I don't know about the kicker situation. Wide receiver, Thielen has the potential to be a possession receiver. But I don't think he's somebody that you're going to be. I think he's not really getting drafted. Neither is Sharp. But I think that might be a sleeper waiver wire pickup that could happen later. Or somebody you could probably take as a flyer at the end of drafts. Both Chark and Thielen. Mingo's going to get interested now depending on how the injury is with TMJ. So, I mean, I think there's potential. But yeah, no, week 1, the only guy that I can see you can start is Miles Sanders. I mean, that's pretty much it. You're not starting Bryce Young. Like, I would not do that. I mean, it's your league. You can do what you want, but I would not start Bryce Young. But I think Miles Sanders is a starter. Some drafts, Richardson is going before us. Well, no, not really. We can do a mock draft real quick if y'all want. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see. See if I can do a mock draft real quick with you guys. Will it let me do one? Will it let me do one? Let's see. Will it let me do one? Do. We can do a quick mock draft. Let's do a what time is it? It's 8:43. Hold on a second, guys, while I get my password down. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll take the third pick. Damn it. All right. Guess I'll have the 10th pick. All right. I'll stay a little later to do this mock draft with you guys. The mock draft ain't until 10:50 till 8:55. It's at the 10th pick. That's the best you're getting. 10th pick's the best you're getting. I'm in the one with the 10th pick. Snowman, what's up? Appreciate the super chat, my man. I'm in the 12 team PPR. Yeah. It's funny because I'm in a 10 team high stakes league. I think it's like a $150 buy-in. It's a redraft league. And they gave us the draft is next week. It's the 17th, which is it's this week. Good grief, it's Thursday. It's the 5th pick, so I'm gonna do some mocks and see how it goes with the 5th pick. 5th is kind of a weird spot, but I got the 10th pick in this 12 teamer, so we'll see how it goes. This episode is gonna go a little further now because I do want to do a mock draft with you guys. So once the door opens, it's a 12 team PPR. So we'll see how it goes. And then we can get an idea where players go. Look, man, AR is ranked close to Fields. And that's the scary part of it all. Like, AR is kind of like, when you look at Fields, Fields is probably only a couple slots ahead of AR. I would probably prefer Fields, though, to be honest with you. Because I think Fields got more potential. But, because Fields got the potential to become the QB1. He can end up being the top quarterback in fantasy football. Statistics show the worst 3 spots are 10, 11, and 12. I've actually won more leagues in the bottom of the league than at the top. So, just like in the Dynasty League, when I got the 11th pick, I was like, okay, it's par for the course for me. I'm used to getting the 11th pick. I'm used to piecing things together. So, but Dynasty's kind of different because the players that you take are who you got to live with. And I have to live with Will Levis and Jimmy Garoppolo. So you got to live with players like that. It puts your perspective, it changes your perspective a bit. I'm in a keeper league right now, and I took Kelsey in the 2nd back in 2019. Now he's costing me a 1st round pick, and I've been fine with it for the past 2 years. And for the first time, I think I'm ready to let him go. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I think I can do better. And by the way, I haven't won this league yet. I've placed 2nd the last 2 years. So it's, I think I'm ready to to let him go. Because I think I want to get a first round pick this year. And to do that, I have to let him go. Last year, I let Hopkins go. Hopkins was costing me the first round pick last year. So this year is Kelsey. So I'm going to have to let Kelsey go. So with that in mind, I can go ahead and tell you some of the keepers for that one. I'm going to probably keep Saquon Barkley is not costing me anything to keep. I think he's going to be like an 11th or a 10th round pick or something like that. So I'm going to keep him. Justin Jefferson is probably going to be like a 5th or a 6th round pick. In some league, he's not, like in some boards, he's number 1 overall. And by the way, I wouldn't have an issue taking Justin Jefferson number 1 overall. So I'm keeping him. He's staying. Terry McLaurin, I have him. He doesn't cost me anything either. He's pretty low in draft pick. I'm going to keep him. And then I might keep the 2 quarterbacks because the 2 quarterbacks I have are undrafted. So that'll probably be the list. But we'll see. It all depends. Like, I think I'm going to, like, I would love to have an opportunity to potentially get 4 first-round picks. That's the goal. I mean, not 4 first-round picks. The first 4 picks. You know, I want to kind of clean up my team a bit. I'm going to double check my roster, but when I looked at it this morning, I was like, maybe I need to get rid of some of these people. I plan on taking Tony if the right spot warrants him. I like the upside of Tony this year. All right, let's see. Well, while we wait, let me cut the sound off real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't want the sound to just pop off on y'all. So there we go. So that way we ain't got to worry about that happening. Let me go ahead and set this Zoom room up for you guys while the draft is happening. For the Patrons. Not over CD. I'm fine with it over AJ Brown, but it's close. I wouldn't put him on route over CD though. If you take him over AJ, I'm not mad at it, but it's pretty close. Mingo in some leagues are undraftable. He's a flyer. Dynasty, he's draftable and probably in the 9th, 10th round. All right, let's see. I'm not ready to commit to that. I think he has that potential for Dalvin. I think Dalvin Cook has that potential, but I'm not ready to commit to that. I'm just not. I'm not. I just can't convince myself of that. I could see, he's going to impact Breece Hall, though, bro. I think he's going to impact Breece Hall more than Zeke impacting Stevenson. Bigger than Miles Sanders? I don't know about that. I've seen drafts where Miles Sanders went in the 6th and 7th round, bro. I took Miles Sanders in the 7th in the Dynasty League. Yeah, he could probably be RB2. Okay. DeAndre Hopkins will always have wide receiver one upside as long as he's starting in the NFL. I'll repeat that again. DeAndre Hopkins will always have wide receiver one upside as long as he's starting in the NFL. Has that ever occurred to you that Ryan Tannehill might be one of the best quarterbacks he's ever played with? When you sit down and think about it. Man, that man's been in the league for 10 years. Top 3 running backs, yes he is. Oh, we about to find out. We got a mock draft we're gonna start in. Wait a minute now, that ain't right. Hold on. Why is my timing messed up? Hold on a second. Yeah, my clock was acting kind of weird. I'm about to share this. I'm about to share my draft. Give me 1 second, guys. Bear with me. Hopefully it'll work. Give me 1 second, because the draft's about to open up. Into the draft. All right. Oh, Lord. Bunch of autos. That sucks. Well, at least you get an idea. You'll get an idea, at least. Kind of suck. Oh, now people are coming in. All right. Progress. Not too many people, but at least it'll be quick. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, I should probably change the banners too. Hold on 1 second. Let's change the brand a little bit. We'll use this one. We'll use that one. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? I would draft Miles Sanders as high as the 5th round, 4th round. I would draft him high. You were talking about Miles Sanders, my bad. You were talking about Miles Sanders. But yeah, I would draft him as high as 4th. If you made a decision to go 0 RB, I wouldn't be mad if Miles Sanders is your RB, is your first running back taken. Yeah, I was hoping that the noise would go away. That's not what I wanted. That wasn't supposed to happen. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Let me fix that real quick, because I don't want all that noise coming out of the mic. There we go. That fixes that. Okay. That scared you? Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I thought I put the setting in so it wouldn't do that, but you won't hear no more noises after that. So right now, so far, McCaffrey went 4th. And somebody actually picked him. So, I mean, Justin Jefferson is the consensus number 1 overall pick. So I'm not kind of shocked by that. Eckler, I don't know. I haven't paid enough attention. But I know he's been not happy about his contract. I'm on the clock. Oh, look at that. Whew. Yeah, full PPR. Let's see here. Yeah, I can take Barkley here. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with taking Barkley there. I'm not as down bad on Barkley as most folks, especially since I might potentially get Diggs here. Like I could either do Diggs or Lamb, so I could probably get a running back wide receiver combo that I would be happy with at 10. Diggs went 11th. Worst case scenario, I'll either get Garrett Wilson or CD Lamb. I'm not going to be mad at that. So Adams went 12th. Okay. I mean, Chubb's sitting right there if I want to go running back, but I'm probably going to take Lamb. I like Lamb here. So I'm taking Lamb. I like Garrett Wilson too, but I'd rather have Lamb. Give me Lamb. I will say though, Brandon Cook signing there scares me a little bit, but I'm not scared enough away from Lamb. Jonathan Taylor falling down the boards because he's on the pup, but I guess he's going to be off the pup soon. I got a while before it comes back to me, but there's a lot of auto drafts, so this will be pretty quick. Let's see here. But I probably should definitely do it. You know who I'm nervous about? With regards to this take, I'm gonna tell you who I'm nervous about when it comes. There's two things I'm nervous about. The first thing I'm nervous about is what Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook are gonna do to that. And the second thing I'm nervous about is Allen Lazard. And I know you're like, well, wait. He ain't as good a wide receiver as Garrett Wilson. I completely agree with you. But Aaron Rodgers knows Allen Lazard. So I'm worried about that a bit. Just like there's some pause about Lamb with Brandon Cooks coming to Dallas. There's legitimate pause about Lazard being there. And I don't think it's discussed enough. I mean, that isn't going to change my thought on where to take him, but just a thought. I'm laughing right now because I look at my options that I see on this board right now, and I'm just laughing. Give me Pierce here. I don't trust Stevenson with Zeke. Now that they signed Zeke, give me Pierce. If Aaron Jones would have made it to me, I would have took him. Now, at this point, this is where I'm willing to take Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson falls to me at 39, I'm taking him. Straight up. Miles Sanders isn't going to make it back around, though. So if you want Miles Sanders, you got to take him here. He looks like he's finally climbing up the boards, though. With the auto picks, he's not going to make it past the autos. Come on, man. Let me get Lamar. Lamar! I'll take him in the 4th round, 10 days in the week, twice on Sundays. Oh, if I can get Lamar in the 4th, I'm taking Lamar. I mean, Fields will probably go later. But if I can get Lamar in the 4th, I ain't mad at that. Yeah, Joe Burrow went right after him, too. Hopkins went in the 4th round. That's interesting. It's about to become interesting. I mean, but back to this question. I mean, it's all about draft value too. It's about opportunity. I mean, in my rankings, I have Lamar ahead of Fields, of course. Oh, I'm always going to like Lamar over Fields. So Miles Sanders went in the bottom of the 4th round. So he's starting to climb higher in drafts. That's good and bad. That's good for him, bad for y'all. Because now you can't steal him no more. DJ Moore went in the 5th round. That's for you, man. He went in the 5th. I mean, Cam Akers should be that high. Why wouldn't it be? I like Mr. McLaurin with Eric Bieniemy coaching them boys up. Fields went in the 5th round. If I can get Madison, Cook, or Akers as my flex, I would love that. Oh, there goes Madison. There goes Herbert. Brees Hall would have been great here too, but I'm very nervous about Cook at this point. Give me Cook. Fair enough. Henderson's not in the league no more. Dalvin Cook went in the 6th round, guys. That's something fascinating to watch. Somebody took him in the 6th round too. It wasn't an auto draft type of situation. Dalvin Cook went in the 6th round. That's something fascinating to watch. Pickens went in the 7th. Quarterback's coming off the board. They're going to let me take Treylon Burks. I'm not mad at Treylon Burks there. I'll tell you what, though, week 7, I'm going to get my behind whooped. So week 13, too. I don't. Slant boy? Nah. I could take him now, though, if I wanted to. But there's a running back I'd rather have. Let's see. Did he go? Damn it, he just went. Shit. All right, I guess I'll take Slant Boy. I really don't trust him, but I'll take him for you. Nah, Carr's been getting drafted into some leagues. I probably would take him as a backup if I did the backup quarterback thing. I would take him. For a 1 week guy, I would take him. All right, let me see here. I haven't taken a tight end yet, so what's the tight end situation looking like? Nah. I ain't gonna do that. Running backs. Oh. Schultz. Oh my God, Jerry McKinnon out here winning me fancy championships. I trust McKinnon. McKinnon might get that. He might get those big plays. Just a flex guy. Oh my God, yeah, man, you better save your money, bruh. Appreciate the super chat, D'Angelo Legend. If the season don't hurry up and start, I'm going to be at 100 inches on the best ball fantasy, and I'm already at 48. Yeah, man. I'm overdue to do a couple of those. I probably might do a couple tonight, to be honest with you. Like I'm looking at if I'm gonna get another draft pick in tonight. Is the pace is not? It don't look like it. But I already put 2 in tonight. It's just boring when you take 2 quarterbacks. But it is what it is. I probably won't pick again until probably Wednesday. Cause you're talking about 12 picks, and I'll see how fast folks are going. So at the end of this mock draft, I'm gonna close it out, and I'm gonna head to the Zoom for the patrons. So get ready, for the folks that are watching. Get ready, because I'm gonna go right into the Zoom. What would be my JSN from Seattle? JSN from Seattle. I think he's gonna get the most opportunity. I'm taking Devin Singletary if he's there, because I need to get me another running back in the system. And if Tony comes back around, I'll take Tony. Even though Thielen's enticing, man, I might take Thielen if Thielen's there. Thielen here at this late in the game. Thielen there is interesting. I think I probably opt for Thielen. There's a couple guys that are interested in here. Thielen, KJ Osborne. I like Kincaid. Like if you're looking for a late tight end, Kincaid's not a bad option here. I would take a flyer on Zeke at this point, because people are forgetting about Zeke. Yeah, Thielen's gone. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a flyer on Zeke. Why not? What's worst gonna happen, right? He ain't got it anymore. I mean, we're in the 12th round. They already updated him to New England, so. Yeah, I'm going with Zeke. Where's Zeke at? I'm taking Zeke. Never thought I would say I'm taking Zeke in the 12th round, but here we are. But hey, me thinking about taking Kincaid was the right thought process. Lazard's my pick. Y'all sleeping on Lazard, guys. Boy, I'm going to be terrible week 7. I'll take Mingo. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'll take Mingo. All right, let's see here. Defense, special teams. So here, crapshoot. You guys know that. Look at the schedule. Let's look at the schedule. That's last year's schedule, though. Let's see this year's schedule. Oh, somebody took Panthers defense. That's demoralizing. Or out of these defenses, sheesh. Guess I'll take a kicker. All right, give me Jake Elliott. I might lean towards the command. Well, as soon as I say that, give me the Ravens. They're buys in until week 13. I'm not. There's no rationale. They're buying until week 13. That's the only reason why I took them. So I ain't got to worry about defense for 12 weeks. I can't take no more players. Yo, it does feel like he's been in the league for a while, but you know. I ain't mad at this, man. Barkley, Lamb, Pierce. And I got the handcuff for him. I should have probably got the handcuff for Barkley considering the injury history, but Zeke, if Zeke pans out, I got a nice little interesting situation. Pretty good value for New England for Ezekiel Elliott. So I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at that at all. No backup quarterback though, but it is what it is. All right, I'm posting this on my personal page. Y'all can follow me on Twitter at champd1012. The handle's right there. I'm going to close this out. Let me see if I can just remove that. I'm about to close this out. I'm about to open up the Zoom for the Patreons. I've had the ticker on the entire episode. Turned off my banner. So you can follow me on Twitter personally at champd1012, and as always, follow the social media channel Panther Nation PC for PNP as a whole. Rashad is the one that normally posts there. I normally post on my personal channel here. I occasionally post on Panther Nation PC, and you'll know because I'll typically sign. But appreciate you guys coming for the first episode of Dave's Fantasy Hour. I'm going to do this every week. We go live at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend. Well, we might be able to get more data next week going into preseason week 2. More players are going to probably get signed, so you probably can use more data with regards to that. For my folks on Patreon, stay tuned. I've already posted it, and my camera just died. So I will holler at y'all later. Peace. You want to talk about timing, huh?